decided let's go ahead and do one. Move the camera over here. Hopefully you can hear me. If not, then that's okay. I've got my little green background. I don't think I've used that one, but one time so far. Let's do that. All right, let's see if it's coming across live or not. I'm kind of like looking at my screen over here, which is actually giving me saying that I am live, so not bad. All right, hopefully you can hear me. I'm not seeing a level either, so I'm going to hope that this level is working here. Mute that. And I'm not hearing it, so might as well take these out. Okay, good deal. I had a thought, just a thought, while I was testing this stuff out. I'm doing a class tomorrow. So since I'm doing my class tomorrow, I had to pull out the background, and I'm going to have like a Zoom thing. It's a COS class, Certified Occupational Safety Specialist class. So I'll have a whole background behind me. So I'm using a little green screen, and it's going to be a nice industrial plant in the background. And so it's like, all right, let me go ahead and give this a shot, see what it looks like. So just a quick thought, not much. I physically did a class last week, and I was not the host of this one. So basically I was there as someone who was fulfilling a contract. So I went over there, and it was in Florida. The location did not have mandatory face masks, and no temporal scanning or anything like that for temperature or anything. And I know temperature is absolutely when you are now showing symptoms. I could see that you are running a fever. So those are some of the things that you're going to get as far as an answer when you're doing the temporal scan. But it's still something, right? And the other thing that I was thinking about, or at least noticed, was it was not required for anyone to wear a mask. And I brought mine anyway, and I decided that I'm going to wear mine because that's just what I do. So had my mask, had my gloves, but I don't wear gloves in this one because I brought my hand sand, and I had that available. And then there was a few other people who were employees there that from time to time I would see one, maybe two, that would wear a mask. So it just got me thinking about this is probably not the only location or only site that will have to create this or has an issue come up. So I was truly kind of thinking of what would it look like if I was hosting a class and I wanted to make sure that I was going to protect the people who were there to watch me. And I do host classes from time to time. The next one I'm going to do is a virtual class, so it's a moot point for that one because we're going to be on a Zoom conference for 3 days doing the Safety Consultant Blueprint course. And if you want to do that, go to safetyconsultantblueprint.com. Nope, not that one. It is sheldonprimus.com/live. Easier to remember that one, right? So it's a 3-day event, all virtual. Don't have to worry about this. But I do host in-person classes too, and I plan to in the future. So I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do. So I'm not going to steal my thunder from next week's podcast episode, but I'm just going to at least start with a little thought. So my thought is going to be, first, I still have to break down the COVID-19 as being the disease and the SARS-CoV-2 as being the virus. So how am I going to protect people from this virus? Then the second thing I had to really think about is, truly people's comfort level, as well as if we can do an engineering control, I might have to do that. I might have to come up with my own plexiglass and give a little barrier, or, face shield with a mic behind it. I don't know, one of those things, and that's only protecting me. And I guess if I'm a carrier, protecting some other people because I have my face mask shield on. But what I really was thinking was truly, I think, might really consider this, that when I'm starting to do live classes again, that I'm going to personally require that everyone wears a mask. So I really want to tell you about my feeling of being the only or one of the only people that was wearing masks during this event. In my class, I was the only one, and we made sure that I had the students separated as best they can. And if we did work groups, I had them communicate amongst each other to see how close they felt, comfort level to be around each other. And still, most of them maintained a good 6 foot distance. So I was thinking, man, when I was there for the whole week, putting on my mask, I didn't while I was presenting, but I had enough of a distance, so I didn't have to worry about that. Even, as a speaker, I'm projecting the most, so therefore I'm actually going to have, if I'm a carrier, it's a possibility that I am now going to project out, and then everything that comes out of my mouth as I pop my P's and say my S's might come out where I'm hitting the desk instead of a person. I have to think about that actual distance there. So I did that. But I did tell my students that during break time, if someone's coming up to me, I'm going to wear my mask. And then also at break time, when I needed to walk through the facility to get to the restrooms or to get outside just for some air and everything else, then I'm wearing my mask. So I went through the whole week as being the only person with a mask. So this is the feeling that I got. And it was absolutely ridiculous for me to feel this way because I'm protecting myself. But I truly felt like, I felt that there was just something wrong with me after a while. Come day 2, come day 3, I'm thinking, man, what's going on here? How come I'm the only one that's thinking about this? And I'm the only one that's actually wearing a mask in other places. And I seen a couple of students that actually came with masks and either had it hanging off of one ear or didn't have it on or something, ridiculous like that. And they're talking close proximity within 3 feet with someone else. So in those instances, it's like, why'd you even bother? Why did you even bother? So I really kind of felt out of place for protecting myself. And then later on, I got kind of that feeling of, am I doing the right thing? Am I just, thinking too much about this thing? Is there something going on with me that I shouldn't be, going this extra mile or something? So it truly made me feel like, it's something that I did and that I was, I don't know, I was making a big deal out of it or something similar to that. So I truly felt bad after a while, just even thinking about that. And I could see that if you were not an individual who felt that you could take a day in, day out feeling of truly I am the outlier in my community, even if it's just a regular classroom community that you're going to right now, that I am the odd man out. So therefore, I really was feeling like I think anytime I do training, I'm going to make the mask mandatory for the student participation. That's just me. I'm going to do it that way because I just really feel that that's the right thing to do. I honestly feel that that is the right thing to do. I can't fault that. That's just how I feel, and I truly feel that the best way for me to express that is going to be right in the contract, right in the statements that I am going to say. In this class, you have to wear your mask. And I'm just going to give them that expectation right off the bat. So truly, I feel like that is my responsibility for them as people coming to my class. So that's my thought. But I was kind of thinking on the mandatory mask wearing. I know in businesses it becomes easier because they're your employees and you can make the rules and set it. But what I'll end up having to do is literally putting in saying that part of the class, you are going to be responsible for bringing your own mask if you are going to be an attendant to this session, and put that right into the terms and conditions of coming to one of my classes. And this will also help the other people's mindset who are like me this week. I was the minority. I was clearly the minority only other person was someone that was doing testing, and they were actually proctors. So it was like a one-on-one, and they had to talk to the people before the test and truly be able to get close to them and get them to answer questions and everything. Okay, they did the right thing. They wore their mask all the time, and I would have too. I'll tell you that. I would have too. So therefore, I know for me, in the class where I was at, I think if it's mandatory, you're taking off a lot of stress on people to to not conform, if you will, to others who are saying, by me not wearing a mask, I don't care. It's it's too much. I'm not thinking about this pandemic. So that's really was an issue I had to deal with, and I felt like I was uh, overreacting. Let's say it that way, overreacting. But still, I ain't going out like that. Wearing my mask no matter what. I'm gonna make sure I take care of myself no matter what. So that was just a thought I had. For anyone who wants to do a webinar with me, I'm doing a free webinar. It is PPE for Pandemic. So you go to sheldonprimus.com/webinar, and then you can register for that one. But it's going to be a freebie, PPE for Pandemic. That is sheldonprimus.com/webinar. So sign up for that one. I think it's like July 3rd, I believe, is what the date on that one is going to be, Friday, July 3rd. So if you are interested, 2 p.m., sheldonprimus.com/webinar, right? So I want to at least tell you that. Next week, I'm going to be doing that cost class. So, this green screen is going to pay off for me tomorrow and the rest of the week. But if you have any questions, any comments, you could write down here in the chat box. I do not see any. I'm actually looking in the Facebook group to see if there's any questions or anything there. The YouTube channel, I'm not going to really look at that one because I don't have too many followers on that YouTube channel, the Safety Consultant US, because I just started that one, so I could basically have a place to put my videos, so I could use that code. So I could embed my videos someplace. So that's really why I've got that one. I never really promote that, but I do have it. But the Facebook group I do. So I'm making sure there's nothing there. I think I'm good. So I am going to kill this one. Again, as I said last time I did this, it's going to be periodically. I'm going to go out there and actually do a live. I'm not crazy like Jay, who does this daily at noon for Safety FM on the Rated R Safety Show. That man is dedicated. I am not that dedicated to every day doing this. And Sam Goodman, the Hop Nerd, he does this all the time as well. So, those two, they are dedicated to video. I'm just dabbling in the video right now. So maybe a little later on, I'll get more into this. But when I do, I'll let you know. And when I am posting, I'll post it the same way. So you'll see it live streaming on the YouTube channel. Facebook, I think I applied for LinkedIn as well. I don't know if I got that yet. I'll have to check my email. And I think there's one more service that I applied for. But other than that, I'm good for now. So take care, and I will see you guys. Well, got a new episode popping for the Kendrick. So it's Skipper Kendrick's episode coming up, part 2 tomorrow. So if you're going to listen to the podcast tomorrow, it's a new one, part 2 of the Skipper Kendrick podcast, right? Okay, that's it. I'm done.